get started. People can join in and we can keep them updated as and when they come in. So welcome guys, welcome to the second edition of Opeth Moshpit. It's our bi-weekly community town hall where we talk about all things options, updates from Opeth, and also we've got like a pretty cool lineup of folks who are building on the cutting edge of options. Joining us this time are Mubaris and Gautam from the Polynomial Phi team. They're building an options aggregator. And also, I think we've got a very special guest, as usual, with us. Wade, thanks for joining in again. Really appreciate you taking out the time. And obviously, from Opit side, we've got me, Siddharth, and Arpit as well. So, yeah, happy to have you guys. Mubaris and Gautam, you guys want to give a quick introduction of yours before we kick off while people are still joining in?
Yeah, that'll be good. Hey,
Yeah.
hey guys, I'm Obaris and here Gautam is here with me. We are building polynomial finance. So it is options liquidity aggregator from multiple option protocols including Open, Hedgehog, and UMA, everything. So so previously before this I was working at Citi and then I was working at Instadap. So now we are working on polynomial full time. Yeah.
Gautam, you want to go next?
Yeah, hi guys, I'm Gautam. I'm me and Mubaris. I think Salman is also there. He's also in the group. Can you add him as a host, as speaker? So we are building polynomial. So we are a options liquidity aggregator, and we currently build a demo in Hack Money by ETH Global recently, and we were a finalist there. So after that, we decided to like take the product live, and this is what we are at the moment. And before this, I was working in machine learning and worked a bit in like blockchain in the past, like masters and everything. So that's it.
Awesome, guys. Siddharth here. I'm taking care of business and operations at DeFi Dollar and Opeth. Will be your host for this evening along with Arpit. Yeah, that's about me. Wade, you want to chime in next, and we can have Arpit after that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. I'm Wade. I lead marketing and community at Open. Prior to getting into DeFi, I worked as an analyst at Merrill Lynch and was doing consulting across Latin America. But super excited to be here. Thanks for having me and looking forward to getting into this more.
Hey folks, I'm Arpit. I work on smart contracts at DeFi Dollar and Opeth Finance. Excited to be here. Excited to just know about what people are building in the option space.
Awesome. So, guys, let's get cracking. I think we've got a surprise as well for you folks. So, everyone who's joined in, you guys can claim a limited edition NFT by POAP, right? The Proof of Attendance Protocol. The design has been made by our in-house designer, right? Like Deep has very kindly taken our time to create a very special design. And I am pretty sure we're going to be having more such NFTs in the future, right? And probably just looking to have like some sort of cool redemption once people have connected enough of those, right? So yeah, that's something that you guys can do. I'll probably try and add the link, or probably the easiest way is to just message our community manager, right? Aaron Barbosa. I'm just gonna add the link when someone else is speaking, so that you guys have his ID, right? And just to kick things off, it's been a pretty cool past 2 weeks for Opeth, right? There have been a lot of developments. In case you guys are tracking our progress, we just launched Uniswap V3 pool, having Opeth ETH pair, right? The intent for that was to enable anyone to probably come in and directly purchase protected ETH, right? When I say that, it's basically in case people who are joining in for the first time, they don't have enough context on Opeth. Opeth is a form of smart collateral that's backed by put options. Currently, we're building using Open, and Opeth is designed to become, let's say, in the future. Obviously, at this moment, it acts as protected collateral, meaning that if you purchase Opeth, then the asset value, right, of your underlying has a defined price floor. Now, why that is important is because imagine Opeth to act as collateral for any lending platform, right? Today, if you just give plain ETH, ETH is probably at $2,000 now, and tomorrow it can go up to, like, let's say, $1,300, $1,400, or even $1,500, right? And there are chances that you might get liquidated, right? That is not the case with Opeth. Opeth essentially gives you a strike price, right, of the underlying put option. So if you purchase, obviously you're giving a price, right? You're paying some price in terms of the premium that is paid to acquire that put option and affect Opeth. But essentially, it gives you protection against any of the downside price movement in the markets. So it makes it really simple for any of these underlying protocols who will be accepting Opeth as collateral to kind of issue loans which will not get liquidated, right? Users will not get liquidated. And that's like a very powerful primitive that we see for both, let's say, user experience and also for improving capital efficiency across stablecoin loans in the DeFi ecosystem, right? So this is something that we've built along with the open team. A lot of let's say ideation was done alongside Arpit and Wade. You guys want to chime in with respect to the history of the Uniswap V3 Opeth pool and how we're looking forward to take it in the future?
Yeah, I can do that. Like get a little bit into technicals as well. So when you mint Opeth token, you basically supply open O token, which is a put option, and the underlying asset, right? So and when you have the put option, let's say strike price 1280, then you have the right to sell your ETH at $1280, right? So if it drops below 1280, you still have $1280. That's the idea. So we were thinking of, like we along with the open team, we were discussing what is that long-term strike price and the long-term expiration which users might be interested in having, right? So what is that dollar price where users would have the most interest in hedging their ETH at? So we did a bit of data work along with Siddharth, and then we thought that, okay, let's try out 31st December expiry, $1280 put option, right? And when you combine that with, yeah, so that put option along with ETH is one Opeth token, and that is protected at $1280, right? So now users who want to protect their ETH at this particular expiration and strike price, they have to do a bunch of steps, right? They have to purchase a put option, they have to supply the underlying asset. What happens if there is no one selling the put option? Then they have to mint it themselves. So all of that. So even though we had Zap contracts for these steps, which means that user could do it in a step or two, right? We wanted to make it further easier for users to purchase this particular Opeth token. And there's no other like easier way to purchase it from Uniswap. So we created a Uniswap pool with ETH and Opeth, which is the protected ETH at $1280, and anyone can simply swap ETH for protected ETH. And obviously, you would need to pay some premium for that, right? So right now, I think the premium is about 10% ETH. So if you supply one ETH, you get about 0.9 Opeth, right? That makes sense because that's protected at $1280, so you pay a cost for that. Yeah, that's the idea behind Uniswap pool, and slowly we see these particular thing getting integrated like into more DeFi products as we build more primitives and more clean abstractions for this.
Yeah,
Wait,
and
before you go ahead, sorry to interrupt you, Wait. I think we've got Julian who's joined in as well. I think if you guys don't know, he's the guy behind Ribbon Finance, right? Julian, I'm gonna bump you up to the speaker list, and I think after Wade is done, we can probably hear a little bit about Ribbon and what you guys are doing. And we've got Mubaris as well, so I think we can have like a pretty interesting session on, let's say, options aggregation post this. Yeah. Wait, I'm sorry. Please go ahead.
yeah, no worries. No, we were really excited to launch the Uniswap V3 partially collateralized liquidity pool for Opeth. I think one thing that stuck out to us is that like Uniswap V3 is a very capital efficient AMM for assets that have bounded prices. And Opeth is an example of that. And again, to reiterate, Opeth combines an open put option with ETH to create the minimum value structure. And for us, this is really a concept and framework to demonstrate how these option structures with grounded values can be traded in UniV3, especially since we just launched partially collateralized options, which allows us to um, sell more of these options and tie up less collateral, which is another reason why the first option powering this OP pool is a December 31st 1280 put. I think that's typically longer than the options you'll see in DeFi right now, but we're looking forward to continuing to iterate on this, adding more pools in the future. But it's been really cool to see the DeFi dollar and OP team ship quickly and also try and make the experience a lot easier for users.
Yeah, I think the good thing there is I think we've chosen a pretty great price, right? Like I'm not saying that it should go there, but we expect the 1280 port to be out of money significantly, right? And in case it's in the money, I think that will be like a very strong signal for us to probably choose another strike price and kind of instantiate another of these pools, right? So just to give a very simple understanding of the pool, instead of going to open or instead of going to the Opeth front end, you guys can very quickly go to the Uniswap pool and just purchase using any of the tokens that you already hold, right? So essentially, we'll be getting Opeth, which is protected ETH, which is the simplest way to think about it, without having to go and understand any of the complexities which are associated with usually minting a put option on chain, right? This is some sort of feedback that we got from the community, and also it's kind of one of the things that we at Opeth and together with Open are trying to do, right? To kind of simplify how regular users can actually start using options to hedge their positions, right? And which makes this a very, let's say, powerful way to kind of bring in some of the other or some of the less sophisticated retail users, right, who actually want to use something like this but till now haven't had the opportunity, right, just because understanding options can get a little bit overwhelming for people at times. Yeah. I think that being said, there are other things that we had thought of doing, right, and which are in the pipeline. One of them is, so currently using Opeth, you cannot get any of these loans, right? There is no platform which is accepting them as collateral, although people are free to keep adding it, right? But I think one of the first ones that the team officially is trying to get onboarded is the Rari pools. So the Fuse pools, if we get Opeth whitelisted and we're working together with the Rari team, right? I think Arpit can take you through that. And also, I think one more thing that we've been thinking about, and which I think the polynomial team will be talking in depth, is the aggregations of liquidity across options pools, right? Because currently, to power Opeth, we are using or we're using Open as the protocol, right? But there's been a lot of innovation in the market, and there are multiple players in the ecosystem right now who are building options, right? And there will definitely be a need for something like a 1 inch of options, right? And we definitely see either that we had earlier thought of building something like that in house, or probably we still might be doing something on those lines. But yeah, I'll probably let Arpit take that, and then after that, I'll invite Mubarak and Gautam, and like basically the whole polynomial team to talk about what they're building and their journey in the ecosystem.
Yeah, about the Radi pool, it's simply a mini compound like money market, where you can put Opeth as collateral and borrow anything that is in the pool, right? Maybe USDC or sushi or whatever. The idea is that if ETH drops below 1280, you won't get liquidated, even if it does. So yeah, that's the basic idea. In terms of the options aggregation protocol, Yeah, I've been thinking about it like still. So I was curious to know what polynomial is building, right? Because yeah, there are some challenges that I thought about. So very curious what approach you guys are taking, Mubarak and Gautam.
So Mubarak, don't worry if Arpit asks any questions. We can take them offline as well. But yeah, I think really excited to introduce the polynomial team because they've got similar roots as us. They were one of the winners at the ETH Hack Money, right? And over to you, Mubarak. Just take us through your journey in the hackathon and why you decided to build polynomial Fi in the first place, and then we can go into the technicals and ask questions and basically where you are at and what's the progress in the project till now. Yeah, over to you.
Hey guys, so yeah, thanks for inviting. Like it's fun. It's exciting to be here. So yeah, during Hack Money, we were building an option liquidity management tool over Uniswap V3. The idea behind was that to make a, let's say, so for an option you like for something like Uniswap V2, it takes the entire curve like 0 to infinity price range, but an option you don't need the entire curve to define the price. So the idea behind was that to create like a small liquidity range where the protocol manages the liquidity and it gets rebalanced frequently. So the protocol decides the price and the users will be freely able to trade between the ranges. So yeah, that was something we built during Hack Money. And while we were building it, like we thought like one of the problem we faced, like we felt like was that there are a lot of option protocols in DeFi. Like we can easily count like 8 or 9, something like that. So we thought like we had this idea to aggregate options. So yeah, during Hack Money, we were using OMAS options. They are not, like non-liquidatable options. It's very elegant design, but we thought like so instead of that, we are going in an aggregation route after the hackathon. So I'll talk a little more about it. So the idea is that we have a lot of option protocol, and they all provide multiple features. Like Open provides partial collateralization, which I think it's very important, and like that's one of the building blocks I think. So apart from that, like other protocols, like UMA provides non-liquidatable positions. So the idea was to create a venue where you can enjoy all these features and have a single venue to trade options. So in a way that the uh, the concept is to bring options from multiple protocols of the same expiry and strike price in the single vault, and the vault will have its own token, which will act as a proxy option that will get traded on a Uniswap v3 pool. And the Uniswap v3 itself, the liquidity will be managed by the protocol, so that like the users don't have to worry about picking a range, things like that. So that is the basic idea. So whatever we built during Hack Money, that was the Uniswap v3 liquidity management for options. Yeah, so right now we are building the aggregation to bring multiple protocols in one venue where you can like mint options by delegating it to the underlying protocol. Or if you already hold an option, like if you have an auto token, you can just wrap it into polynomial and like enjoy the liquidity on Uniswap v3 in that way. On top of that, like sometimes you might have seen across protocols, you have like a different option pricing for same option, like for same strike price and expiry. You have multiple prices where you can arbitrage. So we will also facilitate that particular thing. This is like a basic idea, and like I'll just like give it to Gautam if he wants to talk more about these things.
I think you've pretty much covered most of the things. Like, if you guys have any questions, like, let us know.
So there's a single contract that holds options from multiple protocols and generates a wrapper token over all of them.
Yes, correct. That is the idea, and the this token gets traded in Uniswap v3.
Got it. So what if a user comes to redeem
Yeah,
the polynomial?
so the
What?
way we do it, like after the expiry, we settle all the options and get take the payout and distribute between the holders.
Uh-huh, makes sense. And I think, yeah, open options are cash settled and hedging options are they physically settled?
So yeah, in that case, like we can always take flash loans and like so
Hmm.
it's not much like challenging. So it is like a different approach to each options, but at the end the payout is almost same as everything. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. We have thought about building a similar thing. So, does it also behave like 1 inch? So, let's say I come and I want to purchase a particular option for a particular strike and this one expiration date,
Mhm.
right? Does your UI or some kind of routing engine finds the best price in all of these protocols and then purchases that, puts that in your wallet and gives user the token?
Uh,
Does that how it
Not
works?
exactly. So what we will do is that like we will show the price of Unisa V3, like the polynomial
Okay.
token. If there are protocols which provides a cheaper option, we'll also show that in the UI, and user can like route
Okay.
through that. But at the end, like, we'll assume that most of the trades will go through the polynomial. But if there is a option which is cheaper than that, we'll always route through that.
No, so even when I have to mint new polynomial options, right? There has to be underlying protocol that you get options from,
Yeah. So user
right?
will have
So
the option to choose. Like they cannot always choose Opin or OMA or something like that.
okay,
And like it is up to the
yeah,
user if they
mhm,
want to like if you are ready to like take the risk and like move on to partial collateralization, you can choose Opin. And if you are like a risk averse user, you can choose OMA and there is no liquidation. So like user will have the control to manage the liquidity always. I mean the collateral. I mean.
okay. But then the vault is the average of all the options, right, from all
Mm-hmm.
protocols. So,
So it is like the
so
auction token will be held by the vault, but the collateral
yeah,
management will be done by the user itself.
okay, I see. Got it.
Yeah.
I was thinking in terms of purchasing options, but I think you're talking about selling options as
Yeah,
well.
both purchasing in terms like so it will be always go through the Uniswap V3 pool, and if there is like a cheaper option, and we'll
Yeah,
route
yeah,
through
yeah.
that like that architecture. Yeah.
Correct, correct. Makes sense. Yeah, it's
And
interesting.
and what about redemptions, Mubaris? Can the user go back to the underlying, let's say, options that are actually powering the polynomial token there? Hello?
Sorry. I was muted. So yeah, basically I was saying that before the expiry, you can always go back to the underlying protocol options. If the vault holds all tokens, they can take out all tokens anytime before the expiry, or like some other protocol if you want to take out, that is always possible. But after the expiry, we settle them. So after the expiry, we settle all the options from multiple protocols, and we just distribute the payout equally among the holders.
Got it. Got it. So what stage are you guys in currently? How long before we get to see something on mainnet, right? And what are the ones that you're looking to integrate for your V1 launch, right?
Yeah, so at the moment, like we build the liquidity management during Hack Money. That part is like completely done. So we are right now at the moment building aggregation, which so our plan is to launch on the testnet before going on the mainnet. So it will like in 1.5 months we will see on the testnet, then like 2 3 months probably on mainnet. So initially we want to target UMA Open, Hedgehog, and like we were planning to do Charm as well, but like Charm has discontinued their options. And apart from that, like those are the most important ones. And there is like Siren Protocol and Primitive as well. But mostly we are targeting Open, Hedgehog, Oma, and yeah, that's it.
Got it. Got it. That's interesting. I think I'll open the questions to the audience in a bit. But before that, Wade, what do you think about this, right? What do you think about so many protocols that are coming in and integrating with Open? We've heard a lot of, obviously, Ribbon is a prime example, Opeth as well. But there are a ton of other things that Open is doing in parallel, right? Would you want to shed some light on those plans like the Gamma portal and some of the vault architecture that you guys are setting up?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Open's been protocol first for a while, and one of the things we've been focusing on recently is making it as easy as possible to build on top of Open. With the success of Opeth, the success of Ribbon, what we would see is like a bunch of developers reaching out, trying to either replicate or build something similar, but had a hard time getting started. So a few months ago, or about a month ago, we released the Open Developer Toolkit, which is a set of starter code or templates to make it easier for devs or teams to pick up and either build, structured products. You can build vesting options for DAOs, just a bunch of different things using options. And over the course of the next couple of months, we'll be adding more templates to that. But we really just want to enable the DeFi ecosystem to build as many products using options as sort of the underlying derivative as possible. And we've had a number of teams reach out. We just had one team build an interface for beginner options traders, helping them go through a series of questions to arrive at an options position. Ribbon Finance is responsible for Open's TVL and volume growth. It's probably my favorite interface in all of DeFi, and I think how Julian, Ken, and the rest of the Ribbon team have abstracted away all of the complexities of options is probably the most DeFi native application of options that I've seen. But yeah, I think we really just want to make the developer experience as easy as possible. There's a few other teams building on top of Open right now. Options aggregators, love seeing those. And then I think the more options protocols in DeFi, the better, because it means competition's going to be more intense, and that ultimately means DeFi users win. So yeah, we're just as excited about the things being built on Open as the core Open product itself.
That's really cool to hear. I think that sort of open approach is the reason why there are so many people building on Open and not a lot. Obviously, you guys are the OGs as well in the Ethereum option space, right? But yeah, I think we've not yet seen a lot of other protocols kind of catching up and seen a lot of other, let's say, Legos type stuff getting built on other protocols. That being said, I think you touched upon a very important point, right? Which we've discussed internally, Arpit and me as well, right? Like all of us are fans of the Ribbon front end, right? And I think it just goes on to show how much of a difference good design interface can make, right? I've never seen. Obviously, there's that liquidity mining aspect to it, but I've rarely seen the Ribbon vaults not being at their maximum, right? So that's something. And every bit is kind of pleasing, right? Even if you're waiting to withdraw your rewards, there's like a beautiful interface for that, and a very intuitive interface showing like your position and your returns, right? Like it's hard to compare with any of the others. But yeah, we are trying to up our game, right? We just launched updated front end for users to go in and kind of interact with the Uniswap liquidity pools. We've started getting some feedback on it as well. Just yesterday, one of our users has recommended that they would like to see like small, let's say, those question mark boxes, right, pop up and try and explain to users what is it about, right? Because it might be the case that users come in and but they have to leave the screen, right, just to search what a particular thing means, right? So that's something that we are doing as well. I'm going to take a pause here, guys. If any of the speakers, you guys want to add anything or probably ask any questions amongst each other, because we've got like a pretty talented pool of folks across Open, Opeth, and Polynomial Fi, right? I think once that is done, then we can probably open up the floor for questions to the audience as well. Anyone who wants to ask, just raise your hands or just request to become a speaker. I think Arpit got dropped out. I've just made him a speaker as well. So I think Ishi has a question. Okay. And while we are waiting for people to just ask their questions, guys, we've got limited edition popes for you, so you can just go to the link that is there and just message our community manager Aaron, right? And he'll send you a claim link that you can go to claim your proof of attendance NFT. Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyone has a question, please go ahead, right? It's from the speaker set, and anyone who wants to ask something from the listeners, I would encourage you guys to just raise your hands or just apply to become a speaker here, right, on the interface. Cool. I think that's about it. So Gautam, please go ahead. I think you were saying something.
I mean, I just wanted to ask, like, so you guys put the liquidity in V3, like, how do you select the price range in which you guys were putting?
Yeah, that's a good question. So we just thought that we hope that ETH wouldn't drop below $750. We went with that option. And at ETH $750, right, Opeth still gives you $1280. So that comes to around 1.7 ETH if ETH is at 750, right? So the maximum range that we believe Opeth will trade in is it'll be worth 1.7 ETH for the same reason that when ETH is at 750, Opeth will give you 1.7 ETH, right? And whenever ETH is above 1280, Opeth, the option is out of the money. Opeth has 1 ETH, so it's basically 1 ETH, right? And a little more because of the non-zero premium for the O token, right? So in best case, it is worth 1 ETH because it has 1 ETH. And in the worst case, which we believe is ETH 750, Opeth gives you 1.7 ETH. So that is the range that we selected, 1 to 1.7 ETH.
What happens, like, if it goes under 750? I know it won't happen, but just...
Yeah, if that happens, I mean, the liquidity in the pool will dry out, so you won't be able to buy it. But then, if you already have Opeth, you can always redeem that for more than 1.7 ETH, 1.8 ETH, or whatever it might be. Like the guarantee that Opeth gives you, that doesn't change. Only the liquidity in the Uniswap pool rise up.
Are you guys planning on adding other assets than ETH, like BTC, WBTC?
We might, because when we were talking about this to Badger folks, and they really think that having a similar pool for BTC might make a lot of sense. So we were just having a discussion about what strike and what expiration might make sense. So we might, yes. And if there's any pool that you'd really like to use, just let us know. Very happy to add.
I mean, it would be nice to have like a smaller expiration, like relatively, like the current one is in December of this year, right? Maybe something like a couple of months from now. That would be quite nice,
Okay.
I think, as a user.
That makes sense. We'll discuss that. So because we might not have a pool for every strike, because the reason is that seeding the pool with liquidity is a task in itself. And Open Team helped us with that. So the pool that we just discussed has 100K in liquidity right now. So it might not be possible to have a Uni V3 pool for everyone, but then we can definitely whitelist it in our UI, so you can directly mint Opeth for that expiration and strike price. So that is totally doable. And that's the idea behind Opeth. Like, we want to have many strikes for many assets, right? So right now the ones that are active are 30th July 1800, 30th July 2000, and then the long-term one, which is the 31st December 1280. So you can still make use of the shorter ones. But then, yeah, we don't have one that expires a couple months from now. So very happy to add one of those.
Are the expiries like brought in just according to demand, or is it already like programmed in like every quarter or something?
No, it's not programmed in. Basically, if there is a open token, open O token, we can have a corresponding
Okay.
Opeth token. We just need to like do one transaction in a contract to whitelist that particular O token and then add it to our UI. So it's a fairly simple process. It takes us like 5 minutes to add a new one. But then, yeah, it needs to be done. It's not programmatic right now.
Okay. And like, does it work in a way where like the user can
You can always jump to our Telegram and Discord and request it.
okay.
Yeah.
So this is more of an experiment at this moment, guys. We just want to see how the community responds to it, and then we will chart the course further, right? Because obviously seeding liquidity pool is a very capital intensive task, and we can't actually do it for each and every pool, right? But depending on how the demand picks up, I think we might just see community fueled pools coming in and kind of setting up, right? Because we're open to minting the open. It's just up to the community and everyone else who's interested in kind of seeing such pools to just initiate a Uniswap B3 or a similar pool, right? And just get it going from there. So, calling for questions, feedback, or anything that you guys think that we should be doing differently, or something that we're doing good. Uh, Mubarak, Gautam, Wade, Salman, Arpit, anyone wants to chime in, or if there's anyone in the audience, I see Nirbhik, you're there. Probably will invite you to come on. What do you think about options as well? Anyone who wants to ask a question, please go ahead, guys. You're short. Cool, folks. I don't think we have any questions. So another reminder, please go and claim your NFTs by messaging our community manager, Aaron. The link is there in the announcement and also available in the chat, not the chat, but the interface of the spaces bit. I think everyone can see that. And if there's any sort of concern, just feel free to DM me on Telegram, Twitter.
Hey, I wanted to ask a quick question to the Wade. Like,
Gautam, I think please go ahead. Yeah.
yeah, like, are you guys planning on adding like stake deep, like Lido Finance ever in open?
Yeah, it's something we've thought about and we've explored. I think for us, like whitelisting the assets is fairly straightforward. We did that with the recent Ribbon YV vaults, but yeah, it's something we're exploring. I think users being able to earn yield on their collateral is important. Unfortunately, I don't have a timetable for it right now. The research team and the engineering team are focused on a few other initiatives. One being the like developer templates, another being kind of exploring the preliminary stages of what everlasting options would look like in DeFi. But the answer is yes, it's something we thought about and would potentially add in the future. I just don't have a timetable.
Actually, there is one more update that we have already worked on and we can ship anytime now is a trades app. And Atul, if you're there, do you want to come up and talk about it? The thing that you worked on. I think he dropped out.
No, he's still there. I've asked him to come up. I invited him. But
Okay.
yeah, in the meanwhile, Nirbhik, Mubarak, you guys want to add anything or you have any questions?
No, like we're good. If anybody has any questions, but yeah, like
Yeah, if anyone has any questions specifically for the open team, we've got Wade. If you've got any questions for the polynomial team, we've got Gautam and Mubarak and even Salman from there. And yeah, I think our very own Atul has also joined in, or he's dropped out again. Okay. Atul, you're a speaker now. Please go ahead. I don't know. Sometimes I feel Clubhouse is a much better interface in actually hosting all of this, man.
Hello.
I've always, yeah, Atul, you're there finally. Please go ahead.
Yeah, can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, guys. So, sorry, this was like a nightmare for me, turning on the mic. So, we are working on a trades app, like from the Uniswap pool. Now, if you have O token, you can direct. So, this app, what it does is like from the O token, if you have O token, you can directly purchase uh, Opeth from your O token from the pool itself, or you can also redeem it from the pool itself. So it internally transacts with Opeth, and you can buy and sell Opeth directly from the pool with O token.
Yeah, actually, let me throw more light on that, right? So, right now, how do you trade O tokens on Open? There are basically 0x order books to do that. People place buy and sell orders, right? So, there's no liquidity pool as such. And I think Open deliberately moved away from that design from their V1, right? But then, what the second application of the pool that we just spoke about, the Opeth/ETH pool, is the fact that even if you do not care what Opeth is, you can also trade O tokens, open O tokens directly with this pool, right? And it's sort of pretty interesting how it works. So let's say you want to sell O tokens to the pool. Okay. How do you do that? So you basically call a function in this trades app, which Atul built. And what that does is it takes a flash loan from the Uniswap pool. So it borrows ETH. Okay. Now Uniswap pool has Opeth and ETH, and you just have O token. So how do you sell it? That's the question. So what happens is basically it borrows ETH, flash borrows ETH from the Uniswap pool, and pulls the O tokens from your account. Right now it has all the constituents for an Opeth token. So it mints Opeth, and then it supplies Opeth back to the pool. Right. So that's how Uniswap lets you do swaps, which is you can take the output token first, do your own things, and then return the input token later. So we use that functionality. Again, just to throw, just to make it clearer, right? You give the O token. We first borrow ETH from the Uniswap pool. We mint Opeth token with O token plus ETH, and then we give it back to the pool, right? And there would be some amount of ETH that is left from all of this, and that will be transferred to the user. So that is how you would sell O tokens to the pool. And how do you buy O tokens from the pool? Let's say you just have ETH, right? So what we do is we first flash borrow Opeth from the pool, right? And then we redeem Opeth, right? So then the Zap contract has O tokens plus ETH, right? O token is given to the user, and ETH, which they supplied along with the ETH that is redeemed when you redeem Opeth, is supplied back to the pool. So yeah, just like a bunch of steps in a single trades app. So it's interesting. I'm really curious to see how it plays out because it basically opens up arbitrage opportunity and also gives that AMM sort of thing to O tokens, AMM pricing to the O tokens. So you always get a price for the O tokens, whether you want to buy or sell it, which is different from the order book style trading that Open has. So very curious to see how it plays out. So as soon as there's arbitrage opportunity, let's say the pool. So if you try to sell your O token to the pool, you get zero point 0.1 ETH, whereas on the order books you might be getting it for let's say zero point 0.9, 0.09 ETH, right? So you simply buy it and sell it to the pool, and the opposite also is also possible. So we'll release that very soon. Let's see how that goes.
Awesome. It's very much needed as well, right? Like right now, the only way is DZRX order book. I'm pretty sure this is going to change a lot of user behavior once we make it live. I don't know, folks from Polynomial, if you have any questions regarding this, feel free, guys. And even folks from the audience, if you want to come up, the final chance to become a speaker and ask your question. Cool. I think that's about it from our side, guys. Thanks for joining in. I don't think we have any more questions. Please remember to claim your NFT. The link is given above, just below the description of the town hall. You just need to simply message our community manager. There's a much easier way to claim them. We're going to be integrating a Discord bot, so that you can just very easily message the bot and kind of claim the NFT from there for future editions. But yeah, uh, currently just feel free to DM me or Aaron and try to claim it, right? Cool. Thanks a lot for joining in, guys. Thanks to the Polynomial team as well, Mubaris, Salman and Gautam. It was a pleasure having you. Probably we'll look forward to hosting you guys soon. And we might just convert into sort of a AMA with like leading protocol teams as well, right? While we are not having like a lot of updates to discuss with the community. So yeah, would probably take that offline with you folks as well. Thanks a lot for joining in, guys. Take care.